Very good Sunday morning to you. We're out for another longish run. Probably aiming for about 20 kilometers today. Take it nice and easy. Be on a lot of footpaths and then hopefully some trails today as well. Already had to remove a layer because it's much warmer this morning than other recent mornings. It's a bit of cloud cover about. So it's locked in the warmth overnight. Gonna try and pay particular attention to my heart rate, which currently is nice and low, but feeling like I have the onset of a cold coming on. So if we get too high too quickly, I might call it and walk home to try and stop any potential advancement of getting a worse cold. Anyway, again, it'll be dark for a little while. I might turn it on the trails, but the trails are going to be dark. The sun's not going to be up for an hour or so. Just me and myself. Alright. So about 2k from my house, we've got Samford Conservation Park, and this is essentially where we're kicking off the first trail for this long run. With the cloud cover, it is pretty dark here, and I suspect I have the whole place to myself. Which is fine. But can be a little unnerving at times. It always starts with a pretty steady climb for about, a kilometre. So I'm essentially breathless already. So I might be quiet for a little bit, record, and leave it. Good thing about running in the dark though is, although you have a sense of the undulations from when I've run through here during the daytime, you do tend to forget a little bit. So in some ways the hills and the downs are a bit of a surprise again. So I'm trying to take those little wins when it either goes down or plateaus. Can't see too much right now, but this section of the trail is rather nice, especially when the sun is rising to the east and you get the flood of light through the trees. Creates a lot of, I guess, vertical shadows or horizontal, but I was waiting for my watch to chirp because I've set it for long runs to ping me every 2 kilometers to remind me to have a drink, and it didn't go off, and I realized I hadn't started my watch or restarted it since I stopped across the road. So probably missing about a kilometre, which, as it won't show up on Strava now, we know that it didn't actually happen. But for some reason I'll be feeling fatigue like it did. But yeah, that's the peak of the hills there. Go from about 50 meters to about, I think it's 116, in just over a kilometre. So now mostly downhill and undulating until we exit. Looks like we've got some other people out. You can see some lights. So that'll be cool. It's interesting. I looked through the screen on the camera and it's picking up light that I can't even see. Looks like from the camera's perspective that dawn is approaching, which is nice. But yeah, it's way better eyesight than me. Turns out that other headlight was a mountain biker already going down some of these mountain bike trails, which is pretty brave. But this time of morning, I think they tend to cut and switch back pretty rapidly, so they either must know them or taking it nice and slow. Good on them. Again, not sure got a couple of clear cuts there for transmission lines. One looks southerly, and the other one looks to the north. So I'm going to keep rolling here because Big Ted's always at the exit here, and he's often sporting a different look. One of the locals keeps this guy dressed for current events. Halloween, St. Patrick's Day, Christmas, Easter, and then the rest of it is whatever they deem fit. So, have a quick look. What's he wearing today? Oh no. Yeah. Someone's done that. That's very nice. Big Ted's got a nice Hawaiian shirt on him. The other one's been strung up by its neck. Seems a little over the top. I'm sure it brings a lot of joy to kids. That'll be potentially a bit scary. Forecast said it was going to drizzle. I can see small droplets of rain making their way down every so often. Looks like it's unlikely to come to fruition, which is good. I don't really want to get wet beyond my own perspiration during winter. But again, that's the reason why it's actually quite warm this morning. So, not sure how I feel about it. I got so used to running in the winter in Vancouver that, you know, it's always just a touch warmer here. Not a touch, significantly warmer. And so I've kind of forgotten how to dress. It's 13 degrees this morning. If it was 13 degrees in Vancouver, I would have been wearing a singlet and shorts. But I've got a light long sleeve on and shorts today, so I can adjust pretty good. So we've just passed the intersection of Bunyaville Road and Woodhill Road. So we're in Ferny Hills, and we'll probably be running along Bunya here for about just under a kilometre, and then we'll turn northeast onto Jinka Track, which has a nice bike path along it. It's dark. There's typically other people are about getting ready for mountain biking or trail running, so usually have the opportunity to say hello, get some early morning motivation, and then you also have the option of jumping into the conservation parks if I want to run the trail through to Old North Road, I think it is. See how I'm feeling right now. that's a pretty good. Probably running a bit slower than I would have imagined, but heart rate's at 155, which is well and truly within zone 2 for me personally. So not too much energy being expended yet. So that's always good. So we're gonna be going for a while. I've got a 1.5 litre hydration bladder in my backpack, and I've been filling it completely in my other runs, but I'm finding that regardless of the distance, I'm typically, finishing a run only having consumed 500 to 750 milliliters. So, and I'll usually put 300 to 400 calories of tailwind into that water. So I'm consuming about 200 fluid-based calories, which, especially on my long runs, is probably insufficient. I'm also taking on gels that are usually somewhere between 20 to 30 grams of carbs and 90 to 120 calories. So I'm averaging probably about 200 calories per hour. Which catches up. Start to feel it when you're in the plus 20 kilometers. Kookaburras are vocal today. They've been laughing at me since about 5 a.m. So it's always nice to have a friend. So today, because I've been, under drinking, I've brought my volume of water down to 1 litre. I've put 3 scoops of tailwind, so about 300 calories. And I'm going to be sipping on that every 2 kilometers, and we'll see where we end up at the end of the run. Hopefully I'll be close to consuming that all. If not, hopefully it'll be about 750, and then we're only left with 250. But it's clear that the ratio of sucre to water is greater on this occasion. So there's not much refreshment there, but I do like that the water in my tube that's not on my back cools down between sips. So you get about a tube's length of cool water. Just had a look at the sign at Bunyaville Conservation park, and it says that a lot of the main trails are closed due to the damage from ex-Cyclone Alfred. Predominantly the ones that I would run on, so I don't know if it's how extensive it is, but probably not willing to gamble with it. At this time of the morning, although that one might be open. So I wonder if I can get up here without too much fuss. Danger. Area closed to public. Blah blah blah. Fairly certain we're here. Oh, let's do it. It's probably a more a liability thing than anything else, but I have run this path before, and it's essentially right down and then right up, so kills the quads a bit, but I'm looking for things to strengthen my knee. Some water across the path, I think, down there. You can see something shimmering. Oh. Yeah, it's actually pretty big. Yeah. Interesting. Don't know if that was it last time I did it, so must have been a lot drier. Ran through a spider's web about a K or two ago, and it was dark, and it's always there's another warning sign, so maybe again it's getting worse here, but it's always an experience in paranoia, I find, as you try to understand whether or not the web contained a big spider or not. So I stopped, pulled my bag off, had a look at everything, tried to feel for any signs of movement. Not a fan of longish grass at this time of the morning. Especially if not many people have been coming through here. Smells nice though. The other thing is, I don't tend to run with my vision correcting lenses. Ooh. Look at this one. I don't want to really wreck your Hard work, buddy, but sorry, mate. I don't really want to go back here. Looked like he was unsuccessful in capturing prey. Oh, there we go. Fair bit of light starting to flood the area now, but the light is beneficial for reflecting on spider webs, ones that are smack bang in the center of a track, hoping to catch something smaller than a human. But very likely to leave a nasty little mark. Alright, I think I actually need to turn back there. What do I? Yeah, I can get onto the ring road, big reservoir. That's where we came up. Just gonna go down here in a southerly direction, connect up with the ring road of the park. It's like essentially a fire break, but I think we head right here. There's the Ecological Education Centre, which we've walked to with the kids a few times. It's got like a pretty neat playground, and I don't know how you sign your kids up for it, but they make the most of the conservation park, it seems. They've got tracks that lead from the centre down to a bit of an amphitheatre where presumably the staff give presentations about the park and, you know, more broadly I would say Queensland and Australian flora and fauna. Whew, 8 minutes. So where are we at? My watch just ticked over 10, so it's more like 11k. I walked a bit of that steep hill, so we're averaging 5:57, but nice mix of trail and road. Feeling pretty good. Heart rate is 136 right now, so it's I am going downhill, but it is very low, to the point where I start to question the data. Bush turkey. At the point now where things are starting to not fall apart. I mean, I still feel pretty good, but I'm almost on flat ground and still moving relatively slowly, but heart rate's now elevated. So move beyond, I guess, where my baseline aerobic capacity can comfortably take me without it becoming a bit challenging. So yeah, we're in the 160s now. So but we're about probably 3k from when I'll finish this run, so I'll get to about 19 today, which is pretty good. I didn't think I'd be capable of that given how I felt when I went to bed. I was pretty certain I was going to wake up ill. We'll see what this run does. Probably compromise my immune system a bit. Catches us a bit by surprise, this road. The undulations are a little bit steeper than you want them to be. So I'm going to walk. Just take it easy till the end here. Just doing that. Probably 60 meters uphill. Push me into 170. Coming up on the northern side of the Urana Hills Leagues Club. Do some running once in a blue moon at the track here. It's always pretty popular. Already some life at the all ages playground. It's after 7 a.m, so young kids have been up for some while. I just thought it's pretty here, especially down at the southern end of the track where the trees are. There's a nice little archway that leads you into this little area, and it's the start of the Kedron Brook bikeway essentially. Anyway, that's where I'm going to leave it in terms of videos for today. Felt pretty good. Probably, I've been supremely happy with my heart rate, just keeping it low and slow. But because my mileage was significantly less this week than last week, certainly feels, I don't know, quite fatigued. I went pretty hard on Friday morning with a 14k run, which is probably my fastest over that distance in 2 or 3 years. So I was really stoked with how that went, but there are ramifications from it, mainly today. The benefit is, of course, the aerobic capacity, but the detriment is I've still got some muscle soreness, so I'm not too fussed about pushing hard. So anyway, thanks for your time. We'll call it for today.